Welcome back to the Have Not Room. I am Ben. I'm here with Chad and Brian to talk about a brand new season of Big Brother. Big Brother 28 is here. We have our cast fully released. Basically, like we have a 100% guarantee now of who is on the season. There's been so much speculation. There's been returnee chirp in the air for weeks now, and it is great now to finally have 14, I guess, new players, even though like one plus of them is arguably not a new player in terms of reality TV, but they're calling them the new players. And we have two Survivor veterans that are going to be coming on, as well as a Big Brother star from the new era of Big Brother. 17 players total for us to talk about here tonight. And I don't know about you guys, I'm very excited.
Yeah, Ben, I thought we were done talking about Rick and Dee, but here we are once again.
Yeah, definitely. Brian and I, obviously, over on the Linesiders, just wrapped a season where we talked about Rick and Dee all spring. And it's we're spoiler alert, we're gonna keep on continuing to talk about them. Chad, what about you? What are your thoughts here overall on Big Brother 28 and the cast before we jump in, obviously, the specifics?
Yeah, I think the newbies all look pretty solid and very diverse. I like the two returnees coming from Survivor. Well, returnees, and then Angela coming back is very exciting. So it's I'm ready for some Big Brother. I feel like it's a little late this year, but I don't know.
I think maybe like a few days later than average, but I think like since COVID, this has been about when they started the season, usually like kind of the first week-ish of July. So yeah, no, definitely very excited, and we'll do some tech magic here. We can bring up. We have our new player cast, the players that CBS and Big Brother are considering to be new players, even if some of them have technically been on reality TV before. We're going to go through them and, give our first impression thoughts. Obviously, we have not a ton to go off of. We have snippets here and there, interviews, like 90 second to 2 minute little clips of them where they're kind of stilted and like just talking at a camera. Historically not the greatest at introducing the cast, but usually I think we do a pretty good job of kind of sussing out vibes and at least figuring out who might be a fun contestant or a good player. So.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I picked the winner last year after pretty much just seeing their bios. So, if we can keep that going, we've had plenty of winner picks on this show. I feel like not as good as on our Survivor show. Big Brother's kind of ironically where we do better, despite Survivor being filmed before, whereas Big Brother's live. But this should be a fun time.
Yeah, I think with Big Brother, the issue is Big Brother's cast are often quite top heavy in terms of players that can realistically win the game. Whereas, like, especially in the modern era, like the new era of Survivor, the cast is a little like less, like a little kind of, that feels more open. Whereas with Big Brother, you can kind of often like pinpoint like maybe 5 or 6 people who can realistically win the game right off the bat. So yeah, I guess let's start off here. I expected this to be in alphabetical order when I loaded up this photo, but apparently they've decided that Jason and Lyric are special. So I guess we can go in the order that is on our screen here to make it a little bit more easy to follow, which is very fun because we have a player who is a reality TV alum who was one of the people in the last couple of weeks whose name had come up as potentially being on the season as like one of these speculated, reality TV alums that the show is teasing. We have Jason, who also goes by the drag persona Selena Astidis, who is a 2-time RuPaul's Drag Race competitor, and who is technically on the currently airing season of RuPaul's Drag Race even though he/she on the show is no longer on it. Spoiler alert. Selena has been eliminated as of so far on the season, but it's kind of an interesting thing for somebody to be going into the Big Brother house when another season of reality TV they're on is still currently airing. I don't know if we've had that before.
No, I mean, a few years ago, we had somebody who was on America's Got Talent be announced for this show and then be taken off because of contract stuff. So clearly they got it all worked out with Jason, though.
Yeah, and they later ended up on The Circle.
Yeah, good contestant on The Circle. And then I think he played on another country's version of Big Brother. So, it all worked out.
Yeah. So, Chad, what are your thoughts here on Jason? I'm familiar with RuPaul's Drag Race. I've seen bits and pieces of RuPaul's Drag Race, but I'm not like a fan. But I've heard good things. What are your thoughts on Jason, though, Chad?
Yeah, I mean, in regards to RuPaul's, I've never like watched it, but I've seen snippets. But I think that being on reality TV and like a game show of like not like similar to Big Brother, but still like a reality TV game show will definitely give him or her a leg up on some of the newbies that really haven't been on reality TV. So I think Jason will do pretty well. I don't think they're not my winner pick, but I think they'll go far and potentially do well. I don't remember if in their brief interview if they mentioned that they were a super fan or not, or if they've like watched episodes, but I think just the fact that Jason's been on reality TV and currently is technically will definitely like have a leg up over people. But we'll see if that actually makes a big difference in Big Brother, because it's obviously a very, very different game.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
I was just going to say, I think Jason will have a bit of an advantage of being comfortable with production, being on 2 seasons of Drag Queen. I don't know much about Drag Queen either, but I do watch House of Villains, and usually the Drag Queen contestants on there are pretty entertaining. So I have high hopes for Jason.
Yeah, I mean, we watch Traders, and we have like Bob the Drag Queen on that. We just had Monet on that. Both were very good. So from my understanding, Jason is a both Big Brother and Survivor fan. I know that, I think a lot of the like drag community, historically there is a lot of overlap with like the Big Brother fandom. I would say, based off of my like cursory overview of the cast, Jason's probably the second or third biggest fan of these 14 contestants, which to me is definitely a huge thumbs up. Historically on Big Brother, being a fan, knowing the show, knowing the game, gives you an enormous advantage. Obviously, combine that with the fact that he has reality TV experience, even though it's not really the same game. And with there being returning players, both he's obviously going to know who Dee and Devon's are. He's going to know who Angela is. Like that, I think also gives him a huge leg up, because he's going to have an immediate in with those players that none of these other newbies will really have to that degree, while being able to stay like branded by the show as a non-returning player. I think it's a really, really good sweet spot to stick. I think like the worst case scenario for Jason would be like kind of a like goes out early, kind of in a ball of flames, situation, a la like a Jimmy Haggerty from last season. The reason I don't think that's going to happen is because I don't think anybody who has a decent head on their shoulder for the game is realistically going to go out in a ball of like flames in a pre-jury scenario on a season that Angela Murray is on. It's just not going to happen. There's no capacity. I don't think there's any capacity where somebody's going to like flame out to that degree. Like there's like one or two people in this new cast that I think could, but it would be from like a social perspective, and not from like a plays too hard, like kind of burns out strategically perspective. I think this is a really, really, really well structured cast for Jason, both from the new player perspective and with the returning players mixed in. I think that, like, you know, if we're looking at players on the board who can win the season, I think Jason's probably in the top 5 somewhere for me.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point with, you know, someone who's like the drag queens, which we've seen on shows, just be able to just entertain and really like call people out and have those big dramatic moments like we saw with Bob the Drag Queen on the Traders. I feel like Jason has the potential to do that, but with Angela also being on the season and her kind of being that person for Big Brother, I think you're right that she might take that spotlight off of him while he's still be able to like navigate the show as a fan, as someone who again knows the production side of things. So I think you're right. I think he's going to be a top 5 player for sure. And if not, then I mean, the only way I see him going out is if he gets in a fight with the wrong person or the newbies are too scared of someone like shining so bright or causing problems outside of Angela.
Yeah, it will be fun. I think a lot of upside for Jason, and you know, bring more people to the Big Brother fandom who perhaps are just drag queen fans. So that's always fun. You know, I want the show to go on as long as possible. So
Yeah, no, I mean, look, from everything I've heard about him and you know, Selena on Drag Race, this seems like a slam dunk casting decision. So I'm excited. I think there's a lot of upside here. I think that, like, worst case scenario, he'll, like, you know, be like a really entertaining flame out. But I think that's probably like a really low floor. So, all right, let's move on to the other person on the cast who's being called out, I guess, as a reality TV alum, even though there, I think, is one or two others on the new cast that could be. And strangely, like, you know, Lyric is being highlighted here for her shortish stint, I believe, American Idol season 21.
mm-hmm. I read her wiki. It said that she made it to Hollywood. Great. But then she got eliminated immediately in Hollywood. So I guess, yeah, she was on American Idol. It's, you know, the same way Alan Richson, the guy from Reacher, was on American Idol. It's like, I guess, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't really translate in any meaningful capacity other than, like, mild familiarity with, like, you know, reality TV production. Yeah, it doesn't even translate to the same level that Drag Race does, where, like, you know, Drag Race is like way more like social and competitive. It's like it's barely even worth mentioning. But I really like Lyric. I think that Lyric has a lot of upside. I think that, you know, of the women, I think that, like, unfortunately, the women on this new cast for me are, I would say, kind of average compared to, like, how I would usually rate the new player women on these seasons, especially compared to, like, even last season. But Lyric for me has been a standout, and I definitely see her finding her way into Majority Alliance, going deep, potentially having some sort of win equity.
Yeah, I think that it's a little unfortunate. I feel like she's getting kind of shit on online, or at least being made the butt of jokes. I don't know. She kind of, I think, does have a little bit of upside, but we'll have to wait and see. She's not the biggest dud of any of these people for real. I at least, like, immediately remember her, you know, segment in the reveal where some of them I was like, they were on the reveal? What?
We'll get to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Chad, any thoughts?
I think you guys pretty much covered Lyric. She's the one that's an attorney, right?
Yes, this is actually, you know, coming off of BB27, where we had the winner of the season, Ashley Hollis, who was like an attorney who lied about being an attorney. Lyric is an attorney who plans on lying about being an attorney. She is going to say that she is a musician/singer, which she technically is. But I think similar to like Ashley, where Ashley like said a job that she had also previously held at some point as her cover job. That is like definitely something to flag, because coming off the season where the secret attorney just won, having another secret attorney, I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
It worked out for Ashley. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. I think she has the firepower to make it far. We barely know these people by their like.
We don't have to go super in depth. We don't have anything to say about
which seems solid.
Will be the case. And
I do think something else to surface is I believe both her and Kamu are Hawaiian, or at least like have lived in Hawaii. So that also could be an interesting connection to keep an eye on. And the other potential thing to point out, I think that I think she's pretty sharp. Like I think that there's like, obviously she's a lawyer, so like that's kind of
given,
but like I think there's more that meets the eye with her, and I'm very interested to see how she does.
Yeah, someone to keep an eye on.
All right, moving on to Ashley, who I believe Brian says works with Barstool in some capacity.
Yeah, I saw someone from Barstool tweet that she it was Tommy from Barstool, the guy who should probably get on Survivor, given that he was on like that episode they did for 49 and was really entertaining, and then won the hand on the heart idol thing before 50. Somehow not the first Barstool member on a CBS reality show. That's crushing, but Ashley will have all of those fans presumably at her back, so look for her to potentially win any fan vote stuff early on. We'll see.
Maybe if this was a cast is 14. I don't know with the returning player that's happening.
Yeah, right. That's true.
True.
Yeah, Chad, what are your thoughts on Ashley?
Yeah, I didn't realize she had a following per se, but no, again, she's someone that I think could go far. I guess it depends on how alliances shake up and stuff, but yeah, I think she's another one of those like mid-tier people just based on the short snippet we know about her. But it is interesting that she does have that Barstool background, because maybe it does play a role in fan vote stuff, but I'm not sure how much of the Barstool and Big Brother audience overlap.
Yeah. I do know that Ashley is a fan. I believe she has at least dabbled in the feeds. I don't think she watches like them, a bunch, but I think that she has like, she is familiar with the feeds and knows that they exist and has seen them marginally, to my understanding. And I think that she's been a fan for like over like a decade at this point, to my understanding. So I think she is probably like in the top 5 of this group in terms of fandom of the show and like understanding of how the show functions. So to me, again, big thumbs up on that. I really liked her energy. It's like really hard in a lot of these preseason snippet things when people aren't really familiar with like talking on camera or like kind of just like talking at nothing. It's like not really like a skill that most people use in their day-to-day life, and it's just not really something that most people are good at. I thought she did a decent job in like maintaining energy. Which I think maybe is a part to do with her profession. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just because she has like a more energy than average, even for like a reality star. But yeah, I see a lot of positives here for Ashley.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, this isn't really a good format. I feel like I'm pretty decent in front of a camera. I talk to cameras a lot, but I don't know if I'd be especially good at just this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right.
Speaking about someone who also talks, at least into mics, a lot, you got a YouTuber on here. That's exciting.
Yes, we have our fellow Big Brother / Survivor YouTuber, content creator, podcaster, what have you. By far, from my understanding, the biggest fan on this cast of Big Brother. We have Barrett, who is a dedicated live feed watcher, has watched the show basically his entire life. I believe somebody dug up that he famously actually leaked that Raven Walton was on BB19 because him and his friend like stalked her when she did her like video where she gets her key and gets taken from her place because she lived near him. So yeah, he's like a certified Big Brother psycho.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
I always say if I ever go missing, get the Big Brother fans on the case because they will find me immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on Barrett, Chad?
I think, yeah, being a Big Brother psycho, which is officially one level above Superfan, will definitely help him a lot. I think he's someone that's going to know the game probably better than anyone else, probably better than us, and be able to utilize that to go far. And he's the Jumbotron guy, right?
Yes, and he's also, I believe, 6'6".
Yeah, so I don't know if that means he's a physical beast as well, but I mean, he's got the blueprint to go pretty far in Big Brother and do well. So we'll see. And I definitely liked his energy as well.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm picking off the board for just these 14 and ignoring the returning players, like I think that he'd be my number one pick. Like he has so few downsides that I can see. Like you would think that somebody who is like kind of like a Big Brother psycho would have like red flags in their personality pop up when they're like on camera, but no, he seemed very affable. He seemed very like immediately charismatic and likable as well. So you compare, you take that like personality, you have his head filled with like every piece of Big Brother knowledge you could want. Like you basically couldn't build like a better formula in a lab to be good at Big Brother at that point. So yeah, he's got like, you know, all of the upside, very little downside. I think if this was a 14-person cast, he has like 40% of the win equity off the bat. Unfortunately for him, it's not. And there are returning players here who are going to get in his way. I think that he's smart enough to know how to navigate that. And, you know, we'll obviously get to, in particular, Devins and Dee, because I think Angela, while she's a great character, is not going to be necessarily like a driving strategic force. I think that, you know, him as somebody who is making videos and podcasting about Survivor knows that Dee is not going to like allow somebody else to drive the strategy for this season. And we'll do what I would say is the optimal strategic thing, which is to immediately make a final two with her and just like ride her down toward the end game, which is what I would do if I was in his spot. So yeah, I think that he has all of the pieces to be a great player, and it's just a matter of whether it plays out that way, or whether like a Dee or a Devins looks at him, and instead of looking at him like a perfect ally, they look at him like a huge threat that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, I'm excited for him. I think he's going to do well. He's the designated. I guess there's two on this season. I was going to say he's the designated mustache guy this season, but there is one other.
Yeah, there's like the quirky mustache guy, and there's like the kind of like country club douchebag mustache guy. You know?
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to our fifth player on the season. We have Chuck. CHUK Chuck. Make sure we spell it right, even though no one ever is going to write down his name because, you know, in Big Brother you vote verbally.
Right.
But really set up poorly if this was Survivor to get his name ever spelled correctly.
Yeah. I liked his video where he was like, yeah, you know, I'm a fan of the show. I mean, my family watches it, and it's kind of in the background when I'm around. But yeah, I love the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I think his upside is Zach Cornell.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that he has any win equity. He's like one of the people on this cast that I would be extremely surprised if he's even like near the end game. He doesn't seem to have any clue what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Zach could have been good if he just wasn't bad, you know?
That's fair.
If he just didn't put himself or keep himself on the block for no reason.
Yeah, no, look, Zach was in a phenomenal position for like 3.5 weeks and then decided he just wanted to lose the game, right? And I think that's where
Sometimes
Chuck,
it happens.
I think that's Chuck's ceiling, right? Chuck's ceiling is he accidentally gets into a good position and then fucks it up the second he has to make a decision.
I agree with you.
What are your thoughts, Chad? Do you have anything positive to say on Chuck? I liked him. He seemed nice enough. It's just like I didn't see anything there that gave me hope.
Yeah, I think he's just another. I think the Zach Cornell comparison is like dead on. I think he's just another guy, physical guy that'll, probably do good in comps. But I mean, he didn't give us anything to show that he's strategic. I mean, yeah, he puts in the show in the background. Maybe he started doing that after he realized he was on the show. But who knows? I mean, he didn't give us anything more than just that he's fit and sometimes watches Big Brother. So I don't know. Another one we have to just wait and see. But I think you're right. Zach Cornell's probably the player comp for him.
Yeah. It would not surprise me if he's just like he could even be like in a Zay spot where like he just doesn't put the work in that he needs to first week. There's a bad HOH draw and like he just ends up on the block because he doesn't put the effort in. People are going to be playing hard. He's not going to be playing at that capacity, especially with this cast. There's just like I just don't see it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean he'll find himself in the majority alliance. He'll like be used to win comps here and there, and then someone strategic will just boot him before he can like win anything out, and that'll be his story.
Yep.
But who knows? Maybe it'll surprise us.
Yeah, no, I think all of us reserve the right to be surprised for sure, and we've definitely made incorrect calls on this podcast before. Even though I think we usually have a decent pulse on things, that we have definitely been way off in certain cases. So
yeah.
All right, let's move on to number 6 on the board. We have Drew, who I believe is the youngest player on the cast. I think he's 22, 21, 22, something like that. And he definitely tracks as being 21, 22.
Yes. Totally agree there. He came off young. It will be interesting to see how the rest of the cast reacts to him. Ben, we talk about it on the Survivor podcast as well as here. Being younger in a group where like most of the people are a little bit older, kind of tough to be taken seriously. So we'll see if Drew, because he definitely gives younger brother energy,
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it just endearing younger brother energy or annoying younger brother energy?
Right.
I think that's like what we're kind of waiting to find out, because with Drew, I could definitely see either.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
All I remember is like he was talking about his hair, trying to like make his hair an official.
Well, that was weird.
Yeah.
It's not, okay. No offense to him. I don't think there's anything that distinct about his haircut.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is he talking about?
Yeah. I've seen Zach Rance comparisons for him. I don't know if I fully agree. I think that Zach, like in the preseason, maybe this is like something that'll kind of like soften itself out when he's actually in the house. But because in the preseason, I think Zach had a very similar vibe. But like in the house on BB16, Zach was very much like a very likable underdog sweetheart kind of situation, and I don't really get that from Drew. Like I think like even if people are endeared to him, he's gonna like he has like this kind of like weasel energy that like makes him want to just play like a villain. Like that's the vibe I get, and like I did get that vibe preseason from Zach Rance before 16 happened, but like not to the same degree. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I get that comparison, but I mean, I loved Zach Rance, and I wish he would come back, but like, I don't know. I think Zach was, like you said, much more endearing, and he had some strategy to his game at least. But this guy just seems like he's just a 21, 22-year-old kid going on reality TV for the first time and playing up his personality. So
Here's the thing about Zach. He's a lunatic, and you can't fake being a lunatic. You know, he brought that energy to the house, and that's what really made Zach iconic. I don't see the same for Drew personally.
Yeah, I think that like the best thing I can say with Drew is this does feel like a decent cast for his energy. Like at least on face value, where like, you know, like maybe he has like kind of the like Rizzo vibe that we just, you know, saw with 50, and like you have D and Devins on the season who just played with Rizzo. Like maybe like you know, D obviously is friends with Rizzo outside the game. They pre-gamed for 50 together. Like that's like maybe like the path that he can take, where he's like just like D or Devins takes him under their wing as like kind of like a little brother sidekick that they use as a distraction because he's like kind of like a Tasmanian devil in a social capacity. Like that feels like maybe a place he can slot in. I think on most seasons of Big Brother, he's probably drawing dead, but I think this house specifically, he might have a chance.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of, you know, Brian mentioned earlier, we were talking about lyrics, that she's not a dud.
Yeah.
Haley is on this season of Big Brother.
Yeah. So this person's Camus, right? I don't have much to say about her. She seemed really uncomfortable in front of a camera. Maybe it'll be better when she's actually in the house. I think it's interesting that she owns like a one of those health clinics that give people peptides, you know, like, you know, hit me up after trying to get jacked. Let's do this. Let's see what science can do.
Yeah, Chad, you got anything out from Haley? Because like I have very little to talk about with Haley.
I mean, not really. I barely remember her interview, so she
Yep.
doesn't stand out. I mean, she is like almost auto slotted to be a classic floater, and then will like get booted in a random week that like doesn't really affect anything. So who knows where she ends up? But she didn't give anything to wow me. She didn't give anything to be like, oh, that sucks. It's just like she is here. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, I'm usually very good at like seeing a new reality TV cast and immediately like memorizing the entire cast in like 5 minutes. And Haley is the player on this cast.
That's why you're the host of these shows.
And I mean, I just like I've consumed so many like competition reality TV casts across my like, you know, 25 years of watching these shows. Like it's just. It's almost kind of like become second nature at this point. I just see a cast, I watch them for like an hour, and then I just know all of them. But
yeah.
I continuously, over and over again, since the cast dropped, have every single time I think about the cast, I get 13 out of 14 in my brain, and I forget Haley. It's just like so forgettable. Everything that I saw from her, I literally watched another clip of her before we went live just to try to get something. And it's still like it gave me nothing. She's talking about I am a very bubbly girl and like the most monotone voice ever. I'm like, what are we doing? Are you sure? Like, what are we doing here?
I have to think that she's just was uncomfortable with the camera like that. Hopefully, because how do you get on the show if you're like this? Like, it's impossible.
Yeah, it's
kind of impressive.
I hope it's just the format, and she's like more entertaining in the house because I have nothing like it. From like an archetype perspective, I think she could do well simply because we have like a potential like bro situation going on. I don't know with the returnees if that's going to manifest to anything meaningful because Dee is obviously not going to bro down. Like she might work with some bros, but she's not going to bro down. Devins is not really like a bro down kind of dude. Angela is like historically anti-bro. Like she went after, you know, Matt Hardiman week 1. Like that vibe probably wouldn't work well. But I think in a vacuum, I think that somebody who is like kind of like a fitness woman who has a potential to work with the Bros like could be an interesting player on paper. It's just I don't have anything to like go on beyond that, like beyond just like evaluating her as an archetype, because like her personality has nothing.
I agree.
Yeah. So let's do the next person.
Yes, we have our next player. I briefly referenced him earlier when talking about Lyric, but he is Kamu. He is a MMA/UFC fighter, which, yeah, you can look at his ears and you could probably have guessed.
Yeah. And his whole vibe is just very UFC fighter.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's
not like a bad thing. It's just like he has a very specific vibe.
Yes. Which I think is the most important thing to talk about here, because I think that like UFC fighter, if we're talking about body archetypes for winning Big Brother challenges, is like probably in the competition for like one of the best body archetypes you can have, because it's like nimble, like, you know, small center of gravity, like kind of, you know, tiny package, but really, really strong, like core capacity, like, you
Balance.
know, yeah, balance. Like everything about being a UFC fighter is like kind of designs you for being good in physical Big Brother challenges.
Oh yeah, he's gonna dominate this, dude.
Yeah, as opposed to like a traditional like bodybuilder type, which usually is going to be too top heavy, too heavy overall. Not going to perform as well, especially in endurance comps. Though we had a Keanu last year was like kind of the opposite, but Keanu also very nimble despite his size.
Yeah, it's rare. Mickey from BB21 was also surprisingly good at those types of competitions, despite being huge. So
yeah. So Kamu, I think, is going to win comps. That's for sure.
Yeah.
If we're like putting money on like a first HOH, and the first HOH is not influenced by whatever wacky twist they're doing week one, I think Kamu is like, you know, odds-on favorite to win. It's like him and D are like the two I would put my money on to win any given competition. So that's really good, especially in modern Big Brother. Winning comps is huge. I think that his biggest struggle is going to be where he kind of slots into the house socially.
Yeah, I think that if he ever starts like doing stuff wrong or making mistakes, there's going to be a lot of like jokes about CTE coming his way. So hopefully that won't happen.
Yeah, I think he's your classic comp beast this season. I think maybe he goes that, like, I think his win equity would be the Mickey route. But that's if he gets that far. I think a first HOH would definitely help someone like him, who, again, we don't know how he is strategically, socially, all that. But if he finds himself in the majority alliance just because he keeps winning and they have to include him, then that'll definitely bode well for him. And I bet he does well unless a smarter strategic player wins like a mental cop and just gets him out because he loses an HOH or loses a not an HOH, power veto, and if he's like post veto on the block, I think that's bye for him. But with the what's the challenge thing, the blockbuster being in effect for longer than what most people like, I think he's safe for a little while.
Yeah, I think he's a high ceiling. I think that I don't think that he has like a ton of immediate win equity, but I think that he probably is locked in for like final 9 at least. Like I think he's likely on the jury. I think that he's, as long as he doesn't completely flub socially, which is not impossible. I think that he's likely to end up in a majority alliance and be included in some kind of strategic capacity. And he does. I think he at least is familiar enough with the show where he'll like have like a good grasp. But yeah, it's I think tricky. I think that there's potential gets taken out early, but I think that more likely than not he's in here probably until like early to mid jury.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. We talked about Drew, the youngest member of the cast, and now we have Latrice, who is the oldest member of the cast, who I believe is in her like late 50s.
Dude, when she said that, I was like, what? Late 50s?
Mhm.
Like, God, she
Yeah.
looked so much younger.
She could pass for 40. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she could pass for 40 both physically and like socially.
Mhm.
Because she definitely comes off like she does not come off from a presentation perspective socially in what we saw as somebody who is almost 60 years old. She definitely comes off
She's
more.
talking about having showmances. This is awesome.
Yeah, she definitely passes for like late 30s, early 40s to me.
Mhm.
So that's great.
Cool aunt vibes.
Yes, 100%. Which is again because like everything else I saw from Latrice, other than the like age on her bio, is a huge thumbs up, huge positives.
Yeah.
She's a big fan, probably the third or fourth biggest fan in the cast from this newbie cast. She understands the game seemingly very well. She, I think, will know all three of the returning players. I think she has a good head on her shoulder strategically. Like I said, she's very charismatic. She comes off really well socially. Yeah, I think that her biggest issue is just her age, and then also just winning those end game comps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now Kelly. No, sorry, Mallory.
No.
I was
Okay.
thinking that too, looking at her picture because it's so small on my screen. I was like,
They wanted
Kelly.
to make her seem like Kelly. I feel like
it sucks so bad because like I really liked Mallory from what I saw of her.
Same.
It's always gonna be bad to be like the woman with glasses on this cast, right? Because everyone's brain's immediately gonna go to Kelly, and Kelly is one of the worst Big Brother players in the history of the franchise, and so everyone is just gonna like project that onto her when that's completely unfair.
I mean, look, there's been people with glasses on, but this is like a bit on the nose with Kelly. I mean, come on.
I mean,
sometimes you want to recreate the magic, capture lightning in a bottle once again.
Sure.
But yeah, no, she won't be like Kelly, I don't think. I mean, nobody's gonna be like Kelly. Kelly,
right.
1 in a million character.
Mm-hmm. There's no TikToks of her running into a tornado.
Yeah, right. Amazing.
Yeah. No, I like Mallory. I think that I think if she was wearing contacts, everyone would probably put her in their top 5. It legitimately, I think the glasses are really like bringing her down just because of this like psychological attachment to this like archetype, especially recently. But yeah, I think that she's actually pretty well positioned within this cast from what I can see. I think that she seems like she has a decent grasp on the game. I think that there's a lot of upside here. We'll see. I didn't get a ton from her, but like the small amounts I did get seemed positive outside of the obvious like physical Kelly comparison.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Mallory, Chad?
No, I fully agree. I think there wasn't enough there for me to be swayed one way or the other, but the little bit that was, puts her in a good spot. I think she's someone that could do very well. It just again depends on where she slots herself, depends on who she lands with early. And I don't know if she's going to be like a physical threat, probably more of a mental player, but if she can partner up with someone who is more physical or finds herself in that, majority alliance, I think she could find her way in a jury and, maybe get into late jury. I don't think she's our winner, but I just don't see it. But who knows? Again, any one of these people could win and surprise us.
No, for sure.
All right. Let's move on to our second woman with a music-related name on the cast, which is bizarre. I mean, Big Brother 1000% is doing this on purpose, right?
Yes, of course.
We have Lyric, and then now we also have Melody on the cast.
Melody serving Kill Bill in her package, but very awkward. So I think another victim of the setup. I think she'll have a bigger personality in the house. She is a game show host, like the trivia night type of game show, which is fun. You have to be personable, entertaining to do that job, and willing to humiliate yourself. So like Big Brother's a pretty, good transition.
Gave her the right show.
I think specifically she does like game shows for like corporate retreats.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean that I guess good work if you can get it, right?
Very, very kind of weird niche job for sure. There's a lot of weird niche jobs in this cast, and Big Brother in general, like really kind of goes, I think, for weird niche jobs.
Well, how else are you going to take an entire summer off of your job?
Yeah,
I was gonna say.
yeah. Chad, what are your thoughts on Melody? Anything from her?
I really don't remember her interview that well. But I did find her job to be the most interesting aspect about her. I think she's someone that could find herself in a alliance. Maybe she's on the outs though. Who knows? I mean, she's good looking, so she'll probably end up in the majority. But she didn't give me enough to make me think she's going to be a powerhouse player. Maybe she's one of the more quiet cast members. But again, it's weird that her job title is so contradictory to how she portrayed herself on screen. Because you think a game show hosts are going to be bubbly and energetic, and I just didn't get that vibe from her. But again, maybe it's the format.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think that she's probably like the second or third biggest like kind of like wet noodle in terms of the like portrayal on the format for me after Haley and Chuck. My issues with Melody is I don't think she really understands Big Brother from what I could gather from her talking about the game. She gave an answer in one of the interviews, which was like would you cut your ride or die to take a goat to the end and win kind of vibe, right? The MJ Cody Calafiore question, right? And she like basically like answered it in a way where it was like, yeah, I would obviously not take the goat to the end. I would obviously stay loyal to my alliance. Why is this even a question? Which is, not encouraging, I would say. I think you can make that answer, but like when you give that answer and you make it seem like it's the obvious correct answer, that is not a you kind of that to me tells me you don't have it in you. Right? That to me tells me that like her upside is MJ, right? Like, and she actually is physical. Like she could be an MJ, right? Like she could be a woman who like is in a bad spot, wins a bunch of comps, finds herself in an end game, and then makes all of the wrong decisions and loses. But like that's not.
Maybe she's hosting like corporate bingo night or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It'll be good advertising for her business, at least.
Hopefully. I mean, Big Brother fans are brutal and have been known to like go on to rating sites for businesses for contestants they don't like and give them 1 stars. So. True. Not I would say if you're going to try to like use Big Brother as like a jump point for your business to take off, you're playing with fire, I would say.
True, very true.
Yeah. Go on Survivor.
Yeah, go on show without live feeds. But yeah, with Melody, I just don't see it. I like her personality was flat to me. Her understanding of the game seemed actively bad. I think that her best case scenario is she's decent in the comps and ends up pulled into an alliance and then somehow finds her way into an end game that she can win and doesn't make a horrible decision.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. So should we cover Evil Jack?
I'm glad that you said it.
It looks like literally if like we were making a video, like a sketch, and we were like, okay, we need like an evil version of our friend Jack. We'll just put a mustache on him and change his hair color.
He has worn that exact mustache.
Yeah, I think they look very, very similar.
Yeah, it's definitely Bizarro Jack because Rome, whose real name is Jack, by the way.
That's so insane.
That's what did it for me. I was like, there's no way.
Yeah, his real name is Jack. Rome is just a nickname. It's unclear why it's his nickname.
Yeah.
Well, when in Rome.
But yeah, this Rome to me, while very entertaining from what we saw of him, was basically like an amalgamation of walking red flags.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you could like craft somebody in a lab who like gives up more red flags. Both from a personal perspective and from a person who's going to play Big Brother perspective. It would legitimately shock me if this guy is anywhere near the end of this season.
Yeah. No, he's a pre-jury guy for sure.
I agree. I think, like, in terms of the two mustache people here, his is the douche mustache, and being a pickleball coach doesn't really bode well for his profile. I mean, maybe he's the world's best pickleball coach. I don't know, but yeah, I got nothing but red flags from him. He's gonna rub people the wrong way for sure.
Yeah, I think that he's gonna like relish in rubbing people the wrong way. Like he seemed like legitimately like giddy at the idea of pissing people off. It's like his only his only positive for me is being a pickleball coach means that from a a purely build perspective, he might win a bunch of early comps and like kind of have to be included in like the strategic goings on in the house because of that. But like legitimately, the second that that he is like not in a position of power, I think that he's to me he's like worse Tucker, right? Like at least Tucker was affable to a degree. And was like included in alliances. Like maybe he'll be included in some early alliances, but like it really feels like he's all of the bad aspects of Tucker and none of the good aspects.
He's gonna be someone who gets saved from the BB blockbuster. We're just gonna be like, God damn it, really?
Right? Oh yeah, Twitter meltdown the second he wins a blockbuster.
Mm-hmm. But I think he'll be good feeds. I think he'll be good TV for the like 3 to 4 weeks he's in the game.
Yeah.
All right. Going from somebody who I think has no shot to win to somebody who I think has some shots to win, Taylor. Yeah. I really like Taylor. I think that we got to talk about her like strategic idea that she put out because it's kind of fucking wacky. But I appreciate.
I like it. It's thinking outside the box.
Exactly. That's my takeaway from it as well. I don't think it's particularly good or novel strategy, but I appreciate that she's like her brain is thinking about the game in that capacity, because I think when she's actually put into the house into a position where a social structure emerges, you know, I hopefully she doesn't try to force this like kind of wacky idea, and she just like kind of jiggers things a little bit in a way that actually makes sense. Because so to like kind of set the stage, I guess her idea is like there's two sides of the house, and then there's also like kind of the middle people who are like kind of floating back and forth, and then each of these three groups has like a leader or like somebody who's like vaguely controlling that group strategically, and then those three leaders / like strategic control people are in a secret 3-person alliance, and they kind of each individually control their group to protect each other and whittle each other down. Like, that's not horrible, but like that's an extremely specific house structure that has to exist for that to work. And like this isn't like a brigade where you can kind of force it by just like getting 4 people who are loyal and then like building the structure from there. This is like this structure kind of has to naturally exist, and then you exploit it. And if the structure doesn't naturally exist, there's no way you can exploit it in this way. And even if it does, it's like not as clean as something like a brigade structure. It just seems like a worse version of the brigade to me. So, but if she adjusts in the house and she builds kind of like a, brigade pretty boys, cookout style structure, it's very effective. It's arguably the most effective to the point where it's game breaking. So I like it. I think she's very likable. She came off well in her interviews. I think that she has a good head and her shoulder for the game, even if it's a little wacky. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a season with two distinct sides and people in the middle, that sounds like a great season. Unfortunately, that doesn't usually happen, but we can dream just as Taylor was dreaming here.
Yeah, I was really high on Taylor. I liked that idea that she came up with, and the first thing I thought was like, she's like basically saying the brigade, but more stereotyped. And I mean, it would take a lot for that to happen, and if she pulled that off somehow, that would even be more amazing. But I think a lot of modern Big Brother doesn't really have that kind of structure, and everyone's aligned with each other. So I mean, sometimes there is a very set, like these are this is the majority alliance. We're all on the outs, but I think it's very specific. But I do like the thought process. I think she has all the tangibles in terms of she seems intelligent. She seems like she's pretty physically fit. Very outgoing. I think she can get along with a lot of people in the house, and she's already thinking strategy, which, if she plays too hard too early, that could bite her in the butt. But I think someone like that, if she's able to, ease into the house and find out those social structures and then implement some form of strategy, maybe similar to what she's thinking or something else entirely, I think that could take her very far. And I think if she finds herself late game, she could definitely pull off a win just based off what we've seen of her.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, so talking about the structure thing, like a structure of what she's kind of describing here, like the last time we really saw something like that was like B20, right? It was like 18 years ago. Like it's just not like a thing that happens anymore. Like especially like looking at with a blockbuster and the way that the structures kind of play out with the blockbuster in particular, and especially when we're going to be talking about returning players coming in, it's just like Chad said, it's much more of like a kind of fluid structure that we've seen in recent seasons. But yeah, I think that I think she could do really well.
Agreed.
Cool.
So this next guy is getting torn up on Twitter because of his social media presence, which I think is pretty non-offensive, but it is a little cringy.
It's
unfortunately.
Cringe,
yeah.
He has a TikTok where he starts a TikTok dry humping a pillow, like
Yeah.
He goes to
maybe it's a little offensive.
Yeah, he goes to Chipotle and he like comes out and he's like, I just went to Mecca and I secured the bag.
Which Chipotle, pretty good. I know it isn't as good as it used to be, but for a fast casual dining experience, can't really go wrong with Chipotle.
Yeah, I'd probably put a high B, low A here in terms of chain fast food restaurants. But
Chick-fil-A.
Well, sure, that's also, but yeah. Anyways,
Yash was an alternate, which is surprising because how the fuck was this guy an alternate?
I know.
Like, how is this guy not like one of the first people you locked down for this cast? This guy is insane.
It's gonna be fun. I don't think he's gonna be very good at Big Brother, but he's gonna be entertaining.
He's good. Like he's gonna be horrible at Big Brother, but he's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Yash to me like reminds me of like this feels to me like a Big Brother Canada casting, right? Like this is not like casting you usually get on Big Brother US, where it's like completely over the top personality that like doesn't really seem to like fit into a neat box. There's like 3 or 4 different Big Brother Canada players that I have like immediately in my mind like comparing him to, but I can't think of somebody on Big Brother US that like neatly compare him to. So it's just wild. He's definitely an overtop personality. He's gonna be fun feeds. He might end up in an alliance and win comps. Who knows? He does have a good build for comps. From what I can tell. And like he's probably affable enough that like he might fall into an alliance, but like he's gonna be messy. He's gonna, be bouncing all over the place. He's gonna make mistakes. He is not gonna win the season, but it'll be a fun ride.
Yeah, him and Jason will be buddies, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we get into the players that everyone's been waiting an hour for?
Yes. That's how we keep you around. All right, we got to
Mhm.
do this, and then we got to do this, and then we got to do this. Boom.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, both of these names, D in particular, have been in the ether for weeks now. Devins in the last, like, I think 4 or 5 days has really picked up steam.
Came out of nowhere for
Yeah.
me. I didn't see one thing about Devins until today.
I definitely saw him. Christian Yabicki has been talking about Big Brother recently and like kind of in the ether, speaking about it. I know Tyson, I think, randomly had talked about Devins with the idea that he could be on the show. Like there's been, I think, inklings. And I think like there were a bunch of rumors that there were 2 Survivor 50 players, a male and female, on the cast. The male slot, though, the early rumors were Jonathan and then Rizzo for a bit. And then I think we got Devins maybe like 4 or 5 days ago as a rumor that started popping up, at least from what I saw. But yeah, D's been on the table for weeks, I think.
Yeah. I love Rizzo. I'm whatever with Jonathan, but I think Devins is the correct choice. He is so entertaining and he's going to make feeds so good.
Oh, yeah.
And D, I think she can win. So, like, despite being a winner coming onto this show, I really do think that she has what it takes to be the person who comes away with the $750,000.
Yeah. Great picks. Love it. Even though I know a lot of people are like, oh, we just saw them on Survivor 50. I don't care.
Yeah, don't care.
I've been a certified D fan since Survivor 45. The moment on Survivor 45 that D won me over was in the pre-merge when we had Sean after the swap begging to be voted out. Like he was basically pseudo quitting, but he wanted to be voted out. He didn't want like the stink of being a quitter, even though he was quitting. And then D still wanted to vote out Sifu. They get to tribal council. D goes into the booth, writes down Sifu's name, even though no one else is. That was for me the moment I was like, okay, I fucking love D. I hope she wins because like. I've always been the guy who says if somebody wants to quit the game but doesn't want to quit, they want to get voted out, you do not vote them out, you make them quit. And like it's rare that people actually try to do that or follow through on that, and D is one of the rare people who has done it. Obviously, she's considered one of the best players in the last like decade of Survivor. She came back on 50 as arguably the biggest threat on the board, or one of the biggest threats on the board, and made a decent run. Yeah, I mean, look, D is going to run this game. I think it's. The question is whether she wins, right? I think that she's going to be one of the main strategists, one of the main players for the season. I don't think that. I cannot be convinced otherwise.
Yep, agreed.
Right.
I'm so happy these two are here.
Yeah, Chad, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you guys know these 2 players way better than me. I did watch a good portion of Survivor 50. I still need to finish it, which I can't believe I haven't yet, but I had things going on. But yeah, no, I think D is going to do very, very well. I think you guys hit nail on the head where does she win or not? And I think the only like thing that I fear for any player that is like known to be this good is if anyone in the cast with any sort of wherewithal and ability to enact a plan knows that person's that good and is able to call them out and able to, put them in position to get voted out and convince the rest of the cast to vote them out. So I'm going to be very interested to see how these 2 players translate to Big Brother play. I mean, they're very similar games, but different, formats. But I think the social structure, I mean, is very, very similar. If I'm not going to say the same, but if you're good at Survivor, odds are you're probably going to be good at Big Brother, and vice versa. So these 2 are definitely going to be the most entertaining on the season to watch and see how they navigate. 1, a new show, and 2, 14 new players, plus another returning player that knows Big Brother well. So yeah, I'm very excited for these 2.
Yeah, I think that for me, they're both very good players. I think that Devins obviously is like a very messy player, which is why I think it's going to be fun to see him on the feeds in particular. But they both are, like at the very least, like, A to A plus tier players, like D being like an S tier player. And they just played together. They don't have bad blood. I would say 99% pre-gamed. So it's just going to be so difficult for them to come in as a duo and like not just at least run the first half of the game. I just can't see it. Like, unless Devin starts doing Devin stuff and like does some crazy shit and flames out, like lock these two in for like the final 7.
Yeah, and I think Blockbuster nothing but increases their odds of staying longer.
Yeah, and
definitely win comps.
And fan vote twists. We know at least week 1 we'll have a fan vote twist through Unlocked on Friday. The speculation is in the first few weeks they're going to do something similar to what they did with KC last season with the veto, but it's going to be the audience votes for a player to get a chance to get an advantage. The show brings in a Big Brother alumni who is good at competitions. The contestant on this season plays against the alumni in a head-to-head competition. If they win, they get an advantage. If they lose, they get a disadvantage or some kind of punishment. That's like the flat speculation of how the twist is going to work. And if that's how it works, I mean, D is going to get an advantage in the first 2 or 3 weeks of the show.
Yeah. I just saw that Matt from BP26 is in LA. I would love for him to be like the first former player for them to play, just so we get another Angela and Matt interaction.
Yeah, Angela versus Matt in like a memory competition or something, and then like she wipes the floor with him, and then he cries on TikTok the next day.
It'll be big. It would be a big deal for him to get that call, to be honest. So yeah. I could see it happening.
Yeah, no, but I mean, look, this is great casting. I know a lot of people are like, poo-poo returning players. They were just on 50, yada yada. No, this is great casting. Compared to like the other rumors that were in the air, this is like pretty much as good as you can hope for, in my opinion. I'm very excited for both of them, and I'm very excited to watch them play Big Brother, watch them on the live feeds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even remind like them as returning players. I think they're new to Big Brother, so they're not like they're returning in reality TV and CBS game show, sure, but they haven't played Big Brother. It's a different game.
I agree. I think we saw that with Suri. I mean, like Suri, somebody who ran the first half of Big Brother 25 and then kind of ran up against the wall because the format is not conducive to a player like her. Still made it to 5th place, but like still, even with kind of advantages she had, they ended up kind of being disadvantages. She lost control of the game. I think that's like a really interesting thing looking at, because like D and Devins are only the 2nd and 3rd players to come from Survivor to Big Brother after Suri. To kind of see whether, especially somebody like D who only played the 26-day version of Survivor, like the inclination I think for them is going to be playing really hard right out the gate, and like trying to game extremely hard in the first week or 2, which I think is good. But there is like a level of burnout that does happen, because Big Brother is way more of a marathon than Survivor is. It's like a 90+ day game compared to like a 26-day game or a 39-day game.
Right.
So it's interesting.
All right. Let's get to the star of this season, I hope. Certainly the star of our original season in our eyes. Angela fucking Murray is back. I could not be more excited. I love Angela. I think she is somebody who, in a time where everybody is like coming into these games with a bit of game bodiness, no pun intended, obviously, with our show. She is not afraid to get into fights for the most ridiculous reasons. She's not afraid to turn on her allies for no reason. She's not afraid to make good TV, and for that reason, I adore her.
Yeah.
She
Go
is
ahead.
just chaos. She is chaos coming to a house where she's the only returning player to Big Brother. And it's going to be so interesting and fun to watch, especially with like two players coming from a different show that are definitely like better players overall. But she's going to be looked to as that, veteran Big Brother player. But you also cannot trust her or anything she does. And God forbid you eat her charcuterie board or whatever, then you're screwed. So it's going to be like, she's like the perfect player that you bring back in a one returnee season, well, at least returning for Big Brother players, that is just like, okay, we're just going to see what happens. And she's just going to cause so much chaos and add so much entertainment for the viewer. But she's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, for a show that doesn't do very many returning player seasons, I do like that they aren't afraid to do seasons like this where they'll have people who would be all-stars, but they aren't going to do an all-star season like BB18, the four play. Like, say what you will about Frank completely torching his reputation on BB18, but he was a huge name for all-stars before that. And I think Angela, same thing, but who even knows when we're going to get another all-star season?
Oh, probably 30.
I mean, you would think, but Big Brother historically does not care about round numbers.
Yeah. Like BB22 instead of 20, like, okay.
7 was the other All-Stars. Like, it's just random. Yeah. I mean, look, I love Angela Murray. She in my opinion, I think Angela Murray is the best reality TV casting in the last 5 years. I think it's a close like 1A, 1B between her and Q for me. But like she's for me number one. Legitimately, I can remember the like feeling of waking up on that first Saturday morning and turning on the feeds of BB26, literally in the middle of her coming down the stairs doing her speech, and just being like, what in the sweet fuck? It's like fucking 9 o'clock in the morning. What are we doing? Like, it's just ridiculous.
Oh my god. She's gonna have the feasters glued all season.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, between her and Devins, like, legitimately, like, you think Devins is going to be chaos? No, Angela Murray is going to be chaos incarnate. Like, this is like a, they just like brought like the most chaotic recent player from Survivor and the most chaotic player recently from Big Brother, and they're like, let's put them both in the house and see what happens.
Which is great. Yeah, good.
It's going to be the best feeds you've ever conceived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love her. She's just like, she's camp. She's incredible TV. She brings it from an entertainment perspective. There's literally nothing else you could want from a reality TV contestant. She plays hard. Like, that's another thing too. She's not good at Big Brother, but she tries really hard to play Big Brother. And she is also surprisingly good at Big Brother competitions. She won multiple competitions on Big Brother 26. She was the first. The reason she could do that speech on Big Brother 26 is she won the first HOH. Right? She won the HOH on Quinn's deepfake HOH to save herself. She almost won the final 6 HOH in the double eviction where she got evicted. Right? Like, she literally was in the tiebreaker for that competition. Like, she won multiple competitions. She almost won the marshmallow overnight endurance competition that Leo won. Like, she went on for like 9 hours in that endurance competition. It's fucking insane. Like, you would not think like an older woman with her build is like winning all these comps, but she legitimately is a comp threat.
Yeah, no, she's awesome. I'm so happy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, think about this. Saturday, we're gonna be watching Angela on the feeds again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, amazing. Maybe Friday. I don't know exactly when they're turning them on.
They're turning on Friday right after Unlocked at 9 p.m. EST.
All right, Friday. Ben, Chad, if you guys are free, let's be here.
I'm gonna be glued. The 8:59. I'm gonna be raring and ready to go. I'm gonna have the feeds on with like Unlocked on in the background. I'm barely gonna be watching Unlocked. I'm watching it to make sure that I know what the fucking twist is. That's all I care about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I'm so excited. This is like this cast, like even the newbie cast, from what we've seen for the most part, combined with these three like 1+2 returning players, like we're just in it for like hopefully a really really entertaining season of reality television.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely not the cast like I expected when I heard, oh, maybe returning players. Like to me, I was like, oh, maybe it's not like coaches season, or they're like maybe there's like 4 or 5 returning players and the rest newbies, but only one Big Brother player, then 2 like Survivor players that were just on TV. Like definitely out of left field, but I love it. I love the shakeup.
Yep.
That's
all I got, really.
No, that's good. I'm excited. I think that like I think they really liked Rachel last season. I think that a lot of people are like, Angela, why are they wasting Angela in this slot, right? I think it's really inspired, because usually when they bring back one Big Brother returning player, they're like in the Paul or even the Jesse Goddard slot, where they end up kind of running the house. Angela's not running shit. She's going to be entertaining. D, on the other hand, might be running shit, but like that's a separate thing. But like you know, the fundamental issue that you often get with bringing back a single returning player in Big Brother is just it's not in the cards for being an issue with Angela. So it's just like all positive for me.
Which is why it kind of opens the door for anyone to win, especially D.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Do we want to lock in winner picks, or do we want to wait until after Thursday night?
No, I think we are all set now, right?
All right.
So my head says D, but my heart says Devin. So I will be picking Rick Devens to be the winner of BB28.
I am going with Taylor, a newbie.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I said that when the rumors started in the last couple of weeks, that if D Valladares was on Big Brother 28 and somehow she fell to me in this winner pick opportunity, I would be picking D. I am picking D. I love D. She is hopefully going to win the season, become a 2-time champ, and then they put her on Amazing Race and she wins that too. I'm locking it in. There's just so many like permutations I can see D winning the season. But I respect the picks that you guys made, and I thank you very much for allowing me to pick D.
D is definitely the podcast pick if we all had to pick one, but Benny locked that in, so I had to give him the respect.
Yeah. Well, I need to run. I didn't realize how late it was.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you all so much for watching this episode. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, either the Have Not Room or the Better Radio channel, and we'll see you in the next one.